In our previous videos, we've really looked at what are the closest related keys in terms of the major pentatonic, and today I'd like to look at the minor pentatonic. Let's get started. So let's go ahead and start off with building an A minor scale. That would look like this: A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and A. Now, once again, if I consider thinking about eliminating some of these degrees, we know that 2 and 6 get eliminated from A minor to create the A minor pentatonic. So A minor pentatonic would actually give us A, C, D, E, G, and A. And what I'd like to do is take a look at some other key signatures. How about, let's look at, how about E minor? Let's take a look at that particular one. We'll also look at D minor pentatonic, or D minor, I should say. So if I think of E minor is going to have the notes E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, and E. And finally, D minor would have the notes D, E, F, G, A, B flat, C, and D. And if you're not sure about this, you could think about the relative nature of what E minor is, or you could build it. So there's a couple of different ways how we could arrive to what that is. Now, once again, we want to really look at, well, here's my B note, and here's my F note, the two notes that I eliminated, and notice that I've got an F sharp here, and down here I've got a B flat, and we come to the same conclusion that we did with the major scale, the major pentatonic, and we realize that B is the only determining factor, and if I got rid of my B altogether, imagine if I got rid of this altogether, you really couldn't tell whether or not it's A minor or D minor. There's no way to tell. So if I have no B altogether, and over here, if I get rid of my F altogether, you have no way of telling whether this is from A minor or E minor. There simply is a lack of information. There's not enough information. And so we did this sort of derivation with the major pentatonics, and now we're seeing that there is the same exact relationship with our minor pentatonics. And so we should be able to find the same kind of relationships here. So let's think about this. If I asked you, what are the two most closely related keys for, how about C minor? So how about C minor, the key of C minor? C minor pentatonic. And I said, what key signatures could you play it in? Well, I think C minor would be an obvious one. So C minor, obvious, right? I can definitely use it in the key of C minor. But what other ones could I do? Now that can be a little bit trickier in the C minor. Now there's a couple ways that maybe we can think about it. One, I want you to think about the distance from A to E. That's 5, right? 5 up, A, B, C, D, E, 5. And I want you to think about the distance from A to D. Now you can think of that as being 5 backwards: A, G, F, E, and D. This is 5. Or you could think of it as going up by 4. Okay, so going up by 4 scale degrees, or going down by 5 scale degrees. Okay, so that's certainly one way of sort of thinking about it. I'm going to give you another alternative way, because we also considered, what about the circle of fifths? And so the circle of fifths, I want to consider, well, what is C minor really? Well, it's really part of the E flat major scale. And so again, considering my circle of fifths, I've got something very quick here, and my circle of fifths would have C, F, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, and G flat. We said that I'm allowed to use the two most closely related scales. And so from E flat, it would be, I could use it here, here, or here. Okay, so now that I know what this is, I know that C minor is the 6th degree of the E flat major scale. And so how did I get to E flat, by the way? How did I get from C minor to E flat? Well, what I did is and let me maybe kind of write this out. I took the C minor scale, and you'd have to literally just write this out. So there's no quick and easy way to sort of get to that information. You'd have to write it out, and then you'd have to just go a step and a half up, 1.5 steps. C to D is a whole step, D to E flat is another half step, and so I know that C minor is related to E flat major. Okay, so that's sort of how I got there. If that doesn't make any sense, you definitely want to go back and rewatch some of the older videos. Okay, so I'm allowed to use the two most closely related scales, and now my question is, what are the minors here for B flat major and A flat major? I know that the E flat equivalent here would be C minor. Oops. It would be C minor. Okay, so but what is it for B flat? From B flat, you can count up to the 6th degree, or you could also count back by 1.5 units. So let's do that. I know B flat's going to go down to A flat, and then A flat would then go down to G. Okay, so I could also use this in the key of G. So G minor. And let's talk about A flat. And I know that A flat, let's see, A flat is a whole step beneath B flat. So then my relative minor should be a whole step below that. So this would be F minor. Okay, so what does this information mean? So just like our previous video, what this says is I'm allowed to use the C minor pentatonic scale. I'm allowed to use that in the keys of C minor, obvious, G minor, and F minor. Now the last two are not so obvious. G minor and F minor don't necessarily just stand out to me right away that says, oh, I can use the C minor pentatonic in those. It wasn't very obvious. Now, how could I have gotten there quicker? I could have thought about going 5 up from C, C, D, E, F, G, and I could think about going 5 back from C, and that would be C, B, A, G, F, or which is the same thing as going 4 up. So these are some more reasons why we want to be very well versed with the circle of fifths. In future videos, we're going to continue to take a look at what's going on here with the most closely related keys and how it relates to pentatonic scales.